not trying to divert attention from tonight's score, Diana just was really a special player for us here at DePaul, and she really did have just unbelievable gifts as a player. I mean, she had great vision. She had great strength. She had great quickness and explosiveness. She had great speed, and then she had basketball skills too. She could shoot it. She could drive it. She could pass it. So she really was a great player. And you don't get to pick your parents. You don't get to pick the age or years you live. And had she been born in this day and age, I think she would absolutely be one of the featured stars nationally. I mean, her game would have translated to today, and she would have really been recognized nationally. And she came before that period of time where women's sports was receiving as much recognition. But she really was a very talented basketball player. And I mean, it's thanks Dwayne for putting those numbers up in the rafters. It's a great call for, and can't think of two better people to start with than Terry Cummings and Diana Vine. So again, I know that we have to talk about the game and the score, and I'm not trying to ditch that, but the weekend of Diana and the weekend of Terry, it was tremendous, and thank you for getting that done, Dwayne, and our administration. It really is the right thing to do, and there I'm sure will be more as we continue to look back into the history of our program. So that was really great for those two to be recognized, right to, and it was really well done. Back to the game tonight, you're sitting there, and it's a hard statement to make that you feel like you're 7 to go in the game and you're in striking distance at 22. Okay, you're in competitive striking distance at 22 points with 7 minutes to go, and then we let the game go to 40, and that's it's just a really hard thing to watch happen in the last 7 minutes of a ball game, to have a game go to 40. But at any rate, I thought the players did fight and compete and work for the first, whatever it was, 20, whatever it is, 33 minutes of the ball game, and then we just let it go at the end. So it's an obviously embarrassing score. They are a good UConn team, and a UConn team that is going to be different than most UConn teams in the NCAA tournament, because they're going to be a sneaky underdog for some people, and that's not the role they usually play. And I think there's going to be some number 1 seeds that are going to really hope they don't see them in their bracket when this all comes to fruition here in a couple weeks.
But you folks were down 5 points at 3:57 in the first quarter. What made it so hard to play against UConn for the next 36 minutes?
Well, you have to keep, there's a lot of attempts to answer that question, but we also have to start moving different people in and out. And so I'm not trying to just blame that on, Jim, you know me. When we win, players win. When we lose, the coach loses. So, we got to 3, if we could have sustained it for 40 minutes, we would have sustained it for 40 minutes. And, you start, once you change one player, the dynamic of one player in a 5-person rotation, you can be changing everything. And it's subtle, and it doesn't just jump at you, but the 5 players that were holding at 5 points for 7 minutes needed some rest, and you start resting some people, and you start putting some different people in the game, and then the game, it jumps on you. And you have to. It doesn't matter to recite the formula is useless. I mean, I know at halftime. First game 1, we gave up 37 points on our turnovers. Our turnovers created 37 points for them in stores. So an obvious point of attention was we got to take care of our ball better. At halftime, we're sitting in the locker room. They had 15 points on our turnovers. So of their 54 points at halftime, or 50, whatever it was, 53 at halftime, they had 15 of them on our turnovers. So we cut it. So 15, 30 is less than 37, but it's still not where you have to be. And you have to take care of the basketball. I mean, you have to get back transition defense. You can't let them get the running game going. You have to be able to keep them to one shot. All right, these are just basic things you got to do, and these things are difficult. You can't give them points off your turnovers. You got to work to get open looks. the dirty little secret about UConn is they're a very, very good defensive team. They always have been. They don't get recognized for it because they're known for pretty offense, but they're a good defensive team. It's hard to get looks. Once you get looks, you got to make shots. So there's just a lot that goes into playing a team like this. And this is a UConn team, like I said, that's not going in as a 1 seed this year, and that's a rarity. Usually the argument is, are they the number one or the number two number one? Now this year they're going to go in as a top 4 seed for sure, probably a 2 or 3 seed someplace, but they're not probably going to go in as a 1 seed. So it's going to be interesting to see how the tournament plays out. And they're missing people. I mean, don't forget they're missing people.
Coach, in any situation, you can always draw positives and take good lessons. What did you like about anything with the team tonight?
Well, I always love to play against great people. All right, and that sounds, sitting in front of your president, your athletic director, associate athletic directors, and it's nice to sit up here having gotten beat by 40. I mean, that's not something that's pleasant. It's not what we play for. And at the same time, I love playing great teams. I just believe in it. I mean, it's just, so I always relish the opportunity to play against somebody that's really good. And so just the presence on the floor against players of their level of talent is going to make you better. And it's not a anointment. But your players get better by playing against that level of competition. So it's not like there's any immediate little nugget out there that we can say. I mean, it was nice to get Kate Clark shooting the ball again. I mean, that's a nugget for sure. I mean, Kate Clark is a really good shooter, and she had 32 earlier this year against Louisville. And it's that the games like tonight in Louisville have been few and far between, and we've got to try to find a way to keep that more consistent or create more consistency. So you can call that a bright spot tonight. I mean, there's always bright spots, but at the same time, we got Butler on Wednesday. So we got to beat Butler on Wednesday. We got to turn our attention tomorrow morning to Butler. Our players have class in the afternoon and evening, so this is a quarter where we have morning practices, and so we're going to be on the floor tomorrow between 9 and noon, somewhere in that range, and then we got to figure out a way to beat Butler on Wednesday. And then we got to figure a way to go to Nova and beat Nova next Sunday. And then hopefully put ourselves in position to get ourselves on an upward. I mean, that's another positive thing. This is a good group of people. So they're handling the toughness of the record and the toughness of the defeats. You say they're handling it, it makes it sound like they don't care that they lose. That's not true. They do care that they lose. At the same time, I think they're doing a good job of staying upbeat and positive and not throwing in the towel, even though it kind of looked like we might have thrown in the towel in the last 7 minutes of this game tonight. I think they've done a good job of staying in the fight. And so we're going to fight for Butler. We're going to fight for Nova. We're going to fight for whoever our first round game is out in the Mohegan Sun, and then see what we can make happen in that tournament. That's what we got left. That's what we're going to fight to do.
Coach, the past 2 games, the second quarter has swung in not in your favor, being outscored by 14 against Seton Hall and UConn tonight. I'm just curious on what happens after the first quarter ends and then second quarter. That's
a great question. I just wish it was that. I mean, as coaches, you're playing possession by possession basketball. So your observation is an accurate and good one. But we as coaches are really looking at it more as possession by possession basketball. So, and when we start making moves off, and I'm not, see, I have to really, I don't want to, it's just a hard bench situation. We don't have a lot of depth here. And so when we find a group that's going well, you like to be able to stay with that group that's going well. But the group that's going well are human beings and they need rest. So you start making some changes, and then the changes. It's not an individual player that hurts you or helps you. It's the group dynamic that is adjusted by making changes in basketball, and that group adjustment changes can change everything. So I would probably venture to say that we're starting to get into rotation. The rotation starts at the 7-minute mark today. That you have to start getting people rest, and then when you start getting people rest, there becomes and it's not like, I mean, we have our rotation, and so everybody's got a role to play, and they have to play their role, and so. But that is the best I can come up with for an answer for you. thanks everybody for covering women's hoops. And again, Dwayne, thanks for the ceremony for these players. It's really a good thing to do.